Okay, so now we're going to do the clipping operations, the boundary clipping operations and other functionality using this standalone Python tool, which integrates very nicely with this folder structure. In fact, as soon as you initialize this toolkit, it will set up the project directory given the path of that parent folder. So essentially you just need a parent folder and you need the QGIS project file, and on initializing it will set up all of the folders for you. All right, here we go. This is how the tool looks. What we can do is copy the path of the project, which is here. I'm just going to copy this path, come back here, enter this new path and hit enter, and the project has been initialized. Now this tool has several functionality. For example, the KML to GeoJSON was in the initial drone mapping missions. All of these, the first three tools are drone mapping related specifically. And now we have the raster clipper. This is where we're going to clip the input files, the orthomosaic, the DTM and the DSM, to the boundary file. This tool is automatically going to populate based on the folders in the QGIS project, which I showed earlier. So as we can see, we can select from different GeoJSON boundaries. What we will need, you can see the example which we had done earlier. What we will need is this GeoJSON. This is the actual GeoJSON on field, which I had done. And then we just go ahead and select all of the ortho photos and then click on run clipping. Now the reason why I built this toolkit outside of QGIS is because we can leverage a processing outside QGIS which is less prone to glitches. Especially for things like this, it takes a really long time. And also the beauty about this is that it will do the automatic population of the different drop downs, and this speeds things up quite a lot, and it makes for a seamless workflow, and it also puts all of these files into the correct place in the QGIS project directory structure. Now of course it will take a little bit of time, and once it's done we should be able to see it in sessions, boundary clipped, and as you can see all of these are placeholder folders. We'll see the orthomosaic show up here, we'll see the DSM show up here, and the DTM show up here. Again, the naming is automatic, so it takes the name of the GeoJSON boundary, it makes it camel case, meaning it removes any spaces and starts every separate word with a capital letter, followed by the suffix of the type of TIFF file or type of orthomosaic we have run it on. And let's see. Okay, it seems like it's done. You just move back here to the tool. We can get an idea of if it's worked or not. So everything's got the green tick mark with the location of where we can find it. So all of these are the ortho photos. You can see this is the multispectral and this is the regular RGB, and they've all been clipped. So now we'll import these clipped files into the QGIS project, and we can do away with this initial boundary map. But actually for now, let's just go ahead and keep that as well, if in case we need a base reference for what is outside the boundary. But otherwise, let's just go here to boundary clipped. I'm going to go to the ortho, drag and drop the ortho photo. And as you can see, this is now a nice, neatly clipped raster for the orthomosaic. Similarly, I'm just going to drag and drop the digital surface model and the digital terrain model. All right. So there we go. We've got all of these layers showing up as well. Now, if you notice the orthomosaic, of course, it looks good. It looks nice when it's clipped to the area of interest, which is the actual land survey, land we've surveyed. But the DSM appears as this cloudy blob, and the DTM also shows up like this. So this is not too clear, as you can see. So we'll do a little bit of work. And moreover, for the terrain models, or the elevation models, the digital elevation models, which is the DTM and the DSM, it helps to have hill shading and some color to indicate depth. So we will go ahead and do that in the next steps. Okay, so now we're back in the QGIS project, and you can see there's a satellite image at the back. For that, I'm using Google Satellite as obtained from the Quick Map Services plugin, and you can just find the Google Satellite map here. It just gives you a good broader perspective of where the land is situated, and of course you can just quickly compare and see how it used to be as per the Google satellite image, which was taken some time in the past, a couple of months at least. And of course, after some work has been done, which in this case there's been some tree work which has been done to reduce the shade on the land so that they can plant this hill. they're doing a planting exercise. That's one of the objectives of getting this kind of a survey done. So now in this step, what we're going to do is we're going to take this digital terrain model, which is essentially the lay of the land after removing the trees, and we're going to make it into a much more intuitive visualization. And for this, we're going to use a Python script. If you want to use the script yourself, you can just click on the link in the description below. So when you open the Python console, you're greeted with something like this, and you just got to click the editor, this button here. It opens up the script editor, and then here you just open the folder which contains your files. Now if you're downloading it from my website, you will find it, you'll download it and you'll place it in some common area of your computer. You can keep all of your QGIS scripts in the same folder. I've called it ad hoc scripts because these are ad hoc scripts. If you want the broader complete workflow, all of this becomes more relevant. But assuming you're only going to use one script at a time, just select your script here. It'll appear in this console here, and then just make sure to change the elevation source to either the DTM or the DSM. As I've mentioned, now we'll be doing it for the DTM, and for that you also have a how-to about how to use the script. And one of the criteria is that the checked layer has to be the DSM or the DTM. The checked layer is any layer which has a tick mark here, and the active layer is whatever has been selected, which has this blue highlighted section. For this particular script, the active layer is irrelevant. We just need to make sure that the DTM is in the checked layer, and you've not checked both the DTM and the DSM. It has to be one or the other. And then accordingly, you make that shift here in the elevation source. You just type DTM. Then you can just go ahead and run the script. You'll be presented with a spinning rainbow wheel, and you just got to wait till it's done. And you can see the logs appear on this console here. Later, if you do want to check out where the logs are being generated, there's a log file also which generates, and you can use that for debugging, for instance, and that will be stored in a particular location of your computer. For example, here it's in Documents, QGIS Projects, and that's where it does it. Either you can make this directory so that it will automatically place itself there, or I could make the script do that. I'm not too sure if QGIS allows you to create new folders directly from this console, but I will update about that. So as we can see, the colored hillshade has been created, and this is much more intuitive than the raw DTM which we have. And you can already see that there's a valley here. This is the lowest lying parts. These are parts which are higher up at a higher altitude. I do, however, notice that there are some clusters here. Now, this implies that the land surface is mounded in such a way, but I have my doubts about this because I assume that these areas are just areas on the orthomosaic where there was a lot of canopy, and hence it was not able to find a ground point to triangulate and obtain as a ground reference. So let me just quickly have a look at that. I'm going to compare it with this. As you can see, yes, there is a lot of, there's a tight canopy here. There are some ground points, but maybe it didn't have enough. So I will check this out later in the DTM cleaning process, where I'll be using cloud compare and the point cloud, which is generated from this photogrammetry exercise. That is in a later video. But this colored hillshade is the main focus for this one. And as you can see, this is much clearer. And the way that will appear in the folders is that, as mentioned earlier, under boundary clipped, okay, now this is the main parent. Then we go into the session, because anything generated in the session will appear in the session directory. Then we just go to DTM, and we see that there's these new files which have been created. Previously, we just had this raw DTM, but now we have three other files, and they're associated .ox.xml files, and those help QGIS load these files actually. So, but essentially, there's just three. So there's the hillshade color, there's a JPEG, there's just the hillshade, and then there's the hillshade color. So these are the three main files which have been generated, but we are interested in just this diff file, which is the hillshade color. The JPG we might use in any reports if we need to, and the temp hillshade without the color is exactly that. It's just hill shaded, but we've not put color for the elevation. But again, we don't need that because we are interested in the combined hillshade and color, which shows up nicely in this QGIS console. So I'll quickly go and do the same for the DSM. So I just select the raw DSM, I click it. I've actually done this already. So, well, Let me just show you. This is how the DSM looks, and this is the digital terrain model, the DTM. This is just the bare surface, and this is with the tops of the trees. So you can see that there is quite a lot of intuitive detail you can get from this. And now in the next video, or in the continuation, we'll be talking more in depth about the next steps. Okay.